Welcome to the Lab 10 Port Security. So, port security is basically a layer 2 security feature that restricts the number of MAC addresses allowed on a port, and it also helps prevent unauthorized devices to access the network and the switches. So, for example, if you allow only this PC to access this switch, and when an unauthorized device or devices try to access the network, you can configure the switch to shut down the port, and in this way prevent the unauthorized devices from accessing the network. So that's what we will be doing in this particular lab. We will be allowing the PC1 and PC2 to access both these switches, and by configuring the port security features, and then we will use a test case where we will try to connect another PC to the switch, and we will see that it will not be allowed to connect to the network, and the port will be shut down automatically by the switch. So let's get started with the task. So the first task is to enable port security on switch 1. So let's get started. So let me open the CLI of the switch. Go to global configuration. First of all, let me change the name of the switch to switch 1 as per the topology. So the PC is connected to fast Ethernet 01 of the switch 1. So you'll go into the interface fast Ethernet 01, and I will, since it is connected to a PC, I will configure it in access mode, and then I will enable the port security on this particular port, and the security feature that I will enable include the maximum. So this command shows that maximum number of MAC addresses that are allowed on this particular port. So since only one PC is connected to this port, we will use the number 1 such that only one MAC address that is of PC1 is learned and connected on this port. And the next command is, so how do we configure the MAC address of the PC to be enabled on this particular port? So there are two options. We can manually enter the port number of this PC. This is one method. The second method is that we can use the sticky command, and when the MAC address of this PC is learned by the switch, it will be automatically saved. So for this particular case, we will use the sticky because it is easy method instead of manually entering the MAC address. So we will exit it and save the configuration. So now we have enabled the port security feature where we have told the switch 1 to allow only one MAC address on this port, and the MAC address will be the first MAC address that will be learned by the switch. So if we show the MAC address table, here we can see that right now the switch has only one MAC address learned, that is on the port fast Ethernet 02, which is the switch 2. The PC1 MAC address is not learned, so what we can do, we can ping the PC2 from PC1 and it will automatically learn the MAC address. N.1.1.2. So now the switch will have learned the MAC address. Let me show the MAC address table again. And sure enough, now the MAC address of the PC at port fast 0 Ethernet 1 is learned by the switch. So the second MAC address, this one, is of the PC2 since it was also learned during the ping process. So, okay, another thing that I forget to configure is there is another command regarding the port security, which is, let me configure it. Let me first go into the interface, fast Ethernet 01 switch port security violation. So if there is a violation of this port security feature, if another MAC address comes on this port, what should the switch do? We have three options. In the protect, the MAC address or the packet will be dropped silently. In the restrict, the packet will be dropped, but the violation will be logged. And in the shutdown, the port will be shut down. The packet will be dropped and the port will be shut down. So this is the least secure. Restrict is more secure than protect because it logs the violation, and shutdown is the more secure option because it shut down the port. So let me configure the shutdown option. So if there is a violation, which we will test in a while, it will shut down the port. So now let me do the same configuration on switch 2 as well. But let me change the host name to switch 2. And now I will again go to the interface on which PC2 is connected, which is fast Ethernet 01. I will configure it into access mode. And now I will enable the port security features. And again, I will allow maximum one MAC address. And the MAC address is again will be learned dynamically. And again, if there is a violation of this security feature, the port will be shut down. So we are done with the configuration. Now let me show port security interface fast Ethernet 01. You can verify the configuration using this command on the port. So here we can see that port security feature is enabled and the violation mode is shut down, and some other information. Here we can see that maximum number of MAC addresses allowed are only one. You can also verify this on switch 1. So now let's do the test. We verify the configurations. We did the configuration, then verified the configuration. Now we will do some testing. As we saw that laptop is pingable from the PC. And now what we will do, we will connect an unauthorized device to this switch 1 port fast Ethernet 01. So let me remove this connection and let me bring another PC. Let's suppose this is PC0, and let me try to connect it to its fast Ethernet 0, 1. So as per our configuration, the let me also give it the IP address dot 1.1 dot, let's suppose 3, and the MAC address of 255.255.0. And as we can see that the port status has turned red. Let me open the switch, and here we can see from the logs that the port change has changed to down. And if you want to see, we can use the command show. Again, port security interface fast Ethernet 0/1. And here we can see that port status is secure, shut down, and because violation mode was shut down. So if I use another command show interfaces status, here we can see that it is in disabled mode due to our configuration. So let me bring it back. So I will connect the C1 again to the fast Ethernet 01. But since port is in shutdown mode, what I can do, I can go into the interface fast Ethernet 0/1, and since it is already in shutdown mode, I can shut down it and then no shutdown to make it enable, and the port will now come up. As we can see, it will turn green. I can verify it through the command. So port security interface fast Ethernet 0/1, and here we can see that port is secure and in up mode because it has again learned the authorized MAC address. We can test the same with the switch 2 and it will give us the same results. So that's it for this lab. I hope this has been informative. So please subscribe, and if you are preparing for the CCNA certification, I have a practice question video containing about 350 practice questions that will help you a lot in your preparation. So see you in the next lab.